Hey everybody, my name is Sue Ellen and I am on part 2 of my weight loss journey. I had bariatric surgery in 2020 and I lost 200 pounds. At the beginning of 2025, I had some stress situations happening at home, and stress isn't an excuse to eat things that you know you shouldn't or things that you know you have a problem with. But at that time, it was a crutch for me and I knew it, but I wasn't admitting it to myself. I was eating the extra large and the giant Hershey bars every day. Every day. Not one bar lasting me a couple of days. A single bar in a single day. Sometimes a bar and a half. It's what was keeping me sane. And I didn't need that. I didn't. After a couple of weeks, couple of months, I knew that I wasn't going to stop until I made myself stop. And I made myself stop by getting on the scale. And I seen that I had gained 47 pounds. I was 330 pounds. I hadn't been in the 300s in over 5 years. My 5-year surgiversary was March 9th of this year. I was so unhappy. I cried and I cried and I cried. But then I got to work. I started really doubling down on low carb, low calorie meals that were high protein. My husband was all on board with me. He's a bigger guy. He needs to lose weight. He's finally ready to do his self some good. He's realizing his weight is an issue, and for him as well as for the family in certain aspects. But this is about my journey right now. So I got on it. I started walking. My son and I, he's like, "Come on, Mom, let's go for a walk." One night, and he said 8 laps is a mile, and I said, "Let's do it." I was so tired and sore after the first night, but we went the second night and the third night, and I fell in love with walking. I just started pushing myself, and I said, okay, I'm going to get up in the morning and I'm going to walk. So I got up in the morning and I walked a mile before work, and then I was walking a mile on my lunch break. And I just walk around my building, my complex, so I'm right here, so I can get back to work on time and stuff. But I do my mile within 20 minutes, and I know that's still a long time for some people, but for me, it's pretty good. I was excited when I hit a mile in 18 minutes, and then I walked 2 miles after work. And I just started trying to push myself to do 3 miles, because the day before I started intentionally walking 3 miles, I had gone 2.83 miles, and I was like, dude, 3 miles is going to be cake. Yeah, no, I hurt my foot again, which I did at the beginning of the first time I started walking. So I'm babying it for a day. I'm still walking on it, getting up and doing stuff, but it's starting to feel better, so I'll be able to get all my steps in tomorrow. But anyway, so I was still struggling. I got down from 330 really quick, got down in the 20s, and then I was going up and down in the 20s, and I didn't understand why. And then I joined Weight Watchers, and I was tracking all my food, everything, the good, the bad, the, not so great, whatever. I was tracking everything. And if I couldn't find the exact thing I was eating, I would pick one that was similar and probably higher points. I would pick the highest point value one, just so I wasn't unintentionally lying on the app. Like, I wanted to make sure I was putting in the correct information. And for me, it was, like I said, it was about the tracking. It was about watching my calories. It was about watching my protein, trying to get what I needed to get. And I was not hitting it. I could not hit the 2,000 calories. I could not even hit 15,000 or 1,500 calories most days. My protein, I was not getting the protein like I needed to. And my son's like, Mom, you'll hit it. It's fine, And I even told him, I said, well, I heard multiple times, if you don't eat enough, your body will hold on to the food because it'll think you're starving yourself. And he's like, Mom, that's not a thing. And I was like, why is it not a thing? Doctors have told me this. Nutritionists have told me this, Don't starve yourself. It's not going to work. Well, starving yourself isn't good anyway. But, like, your body thinking you are, because you cut down your calories so much. I keep thinking it's my hair, but it's a pillow in the background. Anyway. So he's like, calorie deficit, mom, calorie deficit. Get your protein in. You know you're supposed to do that. I said, I need to exercise. So like I said, I fell in love with walking. I wanted to go walking all the time. And so I have been every day. I was doing better. I got down to 303 and went back up to 308. And then I went back up to 312. And I was struggling. I didn't understand why. I still wasn't hitting my calories. I still wasn't hitting my protein, but I was hardly eating. I was eating my fruits. I was eating vegetables. I was getting protein in where I could. When I first had bariatric surgery and started eating again, I couldn't stand tuna, and I used to love it. And I couldn't eat it anymore. It was just too dry, and you're not supposed to have too much mayo. You're not supposed to have too much relish and stuff because all the different stuff in it that makes it not so great for you. But I was like, I need to do something. So I looked more into the different things that the Weight Watchers program offers, and they offered a registered dietitian, and they go through my insurance to see if it can be approved, and I was approved for 3 sessions in a year, and I was like, great. Well, it wasn't until November 18th that there was an opening, and I'm like, come on, it seems like forever, and I'm already doing all this work, and it's not working. I had more energy. I was walking. I was feeling good. I had seen the weight management doctor. He gave me Wellbutrin and naltrexone. But the thing is I was already having a problem eating. I was hardly ever eating dinner. I didn't have an appetite most of the time. I was just eating because I knew I had to. And all my life it was, don't eat if you're not hungry. That you're just going to gain weight. Well, it's all about eating the right foods. And I know this. So I kept watching Nikki Gets Fit. I kept checking out Michaela's videos. And finally I had my appointment with the registered dietitian. She was great. I love the fact she's about my age. I love the fact that she's not a little skinny mini girl, which doesn't mean a skinny dietitian would not have given me the same information. But I felt more comfortable. I felt like she might understand some of the weight challenges I'm going through. So we talked. She asked me a bunch of questions. I answered her questions. I asked some of my own. She had access to the app and asked if she could look at my food log. I said, absolutely, whatever you need to help me. I'm so discouraged. I don't want to give up. I'm not going to give up on myself. So she looks at it and she goes, okay, you're hitting 1,500 sometimes. And she's going through. She's like, oh. And I said, what? She's like, you're not even hitting 300 to 600 calories most of the time. You're barely hitting, I'm staying down, I'm staying more between 300 to 600 calories, barely hitting 900 calories. The only few days that I would hit 15 or higher, 1,500 calories is when we would go out to eat. And I would have a bun, or I would have part of the tortilla from the double chicken avocado tostada from El Pollo Loco. And I was getting the grilled chicken sandwich from Chick-fil-A. And that's when we went out. We don't go out all the time. We used to. Sorry, I have a cold. So she's like, okay, these numbers are too high for you, for what Weight Watchers has given you. You cannot hit those because of your bariatric surgery. She goes, what I want you to do, I want you to try to reach 90 to 100 grams of protein and 1,200 calories. If you can hit 15, great. And I said, okay. I said, what about the whole water weight thing? She goes, unless you use some expensive equipment, you're not going to know. Sugar-free Sprite. I don't know why sometimes the bubbles make your throat feel better. I don't know. Or maybe I just needed something other than water for my taste buds. I don't know. So, she said, don't even concentrate on if it's water weight or not. You're just concentrate on hitting those marks and keep being active and keep eating the protein first, and your lower carbs, your fruits, your vegetables, your grains and everything, your fiber. And then she asked me if I was doing the menopause category, and I said no. She goes, well, you're probably perimenopause. And I was like, yeah, I know. So I asked her, I said, okay, so I hear a lot of people telling me don't eat past 6 o'clock. And she goes, well, yeah, you want to stop eating about 3 hours before you go to bed and you're sedentary for the day. But the fact that you don't eat very many times in a day and you're having troubles getting your stuff in, if you're hungry at 8 o'clock, eat at 8 o'clock. If you haven't met your calories, if you haven't met your protein and you're actually hungry, go ahead and eat something. Be mindful about what you're eating, but you need to eat. You need to get your stuff in. And I said, okay. I said, now, to most people, it's going to sound weird. I'm not eating enough now, but I'm not losing weight. And I'm going to be trying to eat more. And you're telling me that's going to help me lose weight. And she said that what she thinks is happening is my body is confused. My body is not at a standstill, but it doesn't know what's going to happen from day to day. So she felt like if I could hit as close to those parameters, the 90 to 100 protein and the 12 to 1500 calories every single day, that my body is going to get on board and be like, all right, cool, we're good. Things are happening. We're not sacrificing anything. We're going to have our energy. We're going to have what we need to make this body move every day, to get this brain started every morning, And I was like, okay, I hope you're right, because I'm just really frustrated. And she goes, I understand. It's going to work. I said, okay. So I have another appointment with her on the 16th of this month, so in 10 days. And I weighed myself last week, and I was 312. And then 311. And then 307. And then 305. And then yesterday, the day before, I had gone with my husband. The day before, so was it Friday after work, I went for my walk and hurt my foot. There was a big pop in my ankle, the muscle in my foot. It gets hard, I guess. It's something. It's weird. My son says it has to do with the muscle on the top of the foot. And even though I've been walking every single day, he said I don't take enough rest days. And I just pushed too hard. And I'm like, but I was walking just fine yesterday and the day before and whatever. So I was like, all right, it's happening again. What happened the last time to fix it was icing it for a day or two, doing the heat after the ice, and I was good to go. So tomorrow, crossing my fingers, praying to God, I'll be good to go. Because my step bet, this is my second one. It starts officially. This week was a warm-up week. I missed yesterday and today. I did get some steps in. I just didn't hit my step goals for the day. But anyway, so day before yesterday, I was like, please just let me be at 305 still. Please don't let me gain weight. Because my husband picked me up on my walk. We went to do some Uber, and then we got ice cream. And I shouldn't have, but I did. And I only drank, it was a $3, it was Thursday night. It was $3 shakes at Foster Freeze. So we both got a shake, and I only drank about half of mine. They were small, and I think it was like 12 ounces. And so I drank about half of it. It was vanilla with bananas and caramel. And then when I got home, I left the rest of it for my husband. He had strawberry banana, which I tasted, and it was really good too. But I was frustrated with myself. I'm like, girl, you're on the downward. You're hitting the lower marks. What are you doing? Don't start this on yourself. And so Friday morning, I got up, fed the cats, turned on my work computer, and stepped on the scale. And I was like, please just still be at 305. Please just still be at 305. Please don't have gained 304. I was like, no way. No freaking way. So, what was that? Yeah, it was maybe it was Thursday, I was 304. No, it was Friday, I was 304. Today is Saturday. I don't know where my days are going. But anyway, I went from 304. And this morning I weighed myself, and I'm at 301. Now, that much weight loss in short period, and I was on my period. My period just got over last night. It was over and done with. Sorry if it's TMI. But that's where I start to get confused. My batteries are good in my scale. Everything is good in my scale. I have it connected to an app on my phone. It'll give me notification if the batteries are dying. It gives me a notification on the scale itself if my batteries are dying. So I'm like, okay, this is legit. Like, I don't understand how I went from 312 down to 301, and I'm praying to God tomorrow I don't gain weight, and either I stay at 301 or that I go under 300. But it's working. Trying to hit those protein goals, even though I'm not still every day hitting 90, I'm still getting a lot closer. Every day I'm not hitting 12 to 1500 calories, but I'm still higher than 600 calories. So my body's still pretty in tune with myself right now. So I'm back, I don't want to say on a high, but I'm back to feeling like I know what I'm doing. I'm back to feeling like it's actually working. All the hard work I'm putting into myself, all of it is worth it. I mean, it's worth it anyway, even if you hit a stall, even if you don't lose the weight that you think you should in a certain amount of time. I'm feeling better. I feel like my face looks smaller. A lady that I met a little over a week ago, her and her dog while I was walking. Her dog's name is Charlie. He's a poodle. He's a chocolate poodle. He's the sweetest thing. Comes up talking at me and just wants me to love on him, which of course I did. And then on Thursday, when I hurt my foot, he seen me from a block away. And he just starts barking and pulling his person all the way to me. And I found out that day her name is Maddie. And so I was like, I cannot believe Charlie remembers me. She goes, he does. He remembers people he likes. And so he jumped up and hugged me. And she's like, oh, no jumping. And I'm like, it's okay. He didn't scare me or hurt me or anything. And then we just stood there talking for about 5 minutes. And I pet him and loved on him. And she said almost right away, she goes, you look good. You look like you've lost weight. And I was like, you know what? I hope so. I don't know. And then I realized, wait, I do know. I went from 312 to 305. And I was like, why didn't I just say that? Like, you're so used to the first thing you tell people when they ask you or tell you look like you've lost weight. It's like, oh, thanks. I hope you're right. But it's like, no, I need to own it. Next time someone says I look like I lost weight, I'm going to tell them, oh, yeah, I lost this much. And I'm still going. And I'm going to try really hard this coming week to do what I eat in a days. I just don't really have a lot of space. I'm not trying to make an excuse, but I just don't have a lot of time to do the videoing and stuff like that. So it's going to be pretty rough recordings instead of just taking pictures of my food and posting it in shorts. And I'm going to try and do weekly check-ins or whatnot until I get more used to keeping on a straight subject, because I will bounce all over the place. But thank you for staying this long if you have. I try to keep it at 10 minutes, but it's 18. Sorry. But I hope everyone's having a great day. It's December 6th and 4:59 p.m. in San Diego, California right now. So everybody have a great night. If you don't already watch, check out Honey Bison and Nikki Gets Fit and Angelica Unfiltered and Annie's Comeback. They're great channels, and I think they can always use some extra love and support on their channels. And yeah, have a great night.